2018 Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport Review. The good points of Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport: low prices and running costs. Lots of tech as standard. A fine, relaxed, motorway cruiser. Excellent ride quality on standard wheels. The bad points of Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport: unadventurous styling, smaller boot than before. Good they are driving, but no superior to the opposition. No hybrids yet. Showcasing sharper, edgier styling may be the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, a swanky new good name for the replacing the company's large hatchback range. This time around there'll be no traditional four-door saloon, but this chiseled facelift will also appear later in 2017 for the replacement for your Vauxhall Insignia Sports Tourer estate, in addition to the new Insignia Country Tourer, complete, which has a raised ride height and SUV-inspired styling. Watch, we ran a Vauxhall Insignia for half a year, find out how we got on. As before, the most up-to-date Insignia will compete head-on using its longtime foe the Ford Mondeo, plus the Skoda Superb, Mazda 6 and Volkswagen Passat, although latter two aren't for sale in hatchback form. All new through the ground up. Vauxhall claims the revised architecture liberates more cabin space for passengers, which is felt most obviously inside the rear. However, the company's own statistics concur that boot space has shrunk slightly, therefore, down 40 liters to your 490-liter capacity. However, it's better shaped versus the old car. The interior feels airy, even though those small side windows aft on the rear doors have been dummy panels masking rather thick pillars. The Insignia Grand Sport's nose is dominated by a fresh interpretation in the Vauxhall grille, while high-end models feature the brand's LED matrix headlamps, featuring 32 lighting elements weighed against the Astra's 16. Not only are they brighter, however, they are even more precise inside way they power down sections of light to prevent dazzling oncoming drivers. Despite the bodywork creases and chamfered corners, it cleaves air with impressive ease. Vauxhall quotes a drag coefficient of 0.26, much like the 1989 Calibra, that will yield fuel efficiency and low CO2 emissions benefits. The new car is usually up to 175 kilograms lighter, model compared to outgoing Insignia. Engine lineup largely carried over. There are 6 engines as a whole, including 3 petrol and 3 diesels. All of them are turbocharged. Simply the 1.5-liter petrol is a fresh unit, the others are carried over from your previous Insignia. This means mechanicals of the car are largely proven and revisions show that economy and CO2 emissions are improved within the old Insignia too. Vauxhall reckons the 1.5-liter petrol and 1.6-liter diesels will sell the most beneficial, where there are 2 power outputs per unit to aid tailor your Insignia on your exact needs. Enhanced onboard technology. Unsurprisingly, the most recent Insignia includes a raft of electronic aids to generate the driving experience safer. Expect adaptive cruise control, lane departure assist, rear cross-traffic alert, along with a head-up display HUD to become optionally available where they're not standard features. Angled on the driver, the asterisk dashboard is dominated by a big multimedia touchscreen in an effort to reduce the button count, even though the steering wheel is likely being laden with switchgear. Smartphone integration is manufactured easy with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and that is standard on all models. As you move, the TechFest continues with Vauxhall's OnStar virtual concierge service with an onboard Wi-Fi hotspot for around 7 devices, likely to get standard through the bulk with the range. High-performance Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport GS announced in July 2017. The GS badge returns to Vauxhall's bootlabs in 2017, set being officially unveiled in the Frankfurt Motor Show in September for the Insignia Grand Sport. And this really is far more than a body kit. It's a dedicated performance model, using a 260 horsepower turbocharged petrol engine, an 8-speed automatic gearbox and all-wheel drive. Vauxhall's FlexRide adaptive suspension features, as well as some large Brembo brakes for serious stopping power and full leather sports seats to help keep you planted. We're promised performance that'll eclipse the prior Insignia VXR thanks with a 160 kg fat reduction compared towards the normal Grand Sport. Its handling is honed within the famous Nürburgring test track in Germany. Latest deals from Buick are: Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport 1. £14,595, or £217 a month. Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport L. £22,995, or £345 each month. See all deals on Vauxhall Insignia. Representative example, representative APR of 7.9%, borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP type finance. The total amount payable could well be £250 30 days, using a total cost of credit of £1,483 as well as a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Buick Car Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London, WC1E7DPGBL9151058 is usually a credit broker regulated by FCAFRN:667368. The verdict. A good, solid verdict for any good solid car. The Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport is decent to operate a vehicle, excellent on long journeys, is well made, and possesses a nice, usable interior that appears like it will withstand numerous hard use without the troubles. So, why write score better? The Insignia Grand Sport can be a typical modern Vauxhall. It's very efficient at what it does, but without that last amount of desirability, sexiness, that you will find in non-premium rivals, like the Volkswagen Passat and Skoda Superb. We could happily recommend it as a year one simply car purchase, but report that some of its rivals would depart you feeling better inside long run. Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport review. If this type of hatchback deserves your attention. Power ranges from 110 horsepower to 260 horsepower. New 1.5-liter petrol, plus carried over diesels. 6 turbocharged choices altogether. There are 6 engines to pick from, 3 petrol and 3 diesels, that are turbocharged. Only the 1.5-liter petrol is a different unit. The remaining are carried over through the previous Insignia. Petrol engines. First up will be the 1.5-liter turbo, expected to become one in the big sellers inside the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport lineup, with 2 different power outputs, 140 horsepower and 165 horsepower. Top on the petrol range is usually a 2.0-liter, 260 horsepower unit having a muscular 400 Nm of torque, which comes exclusively through an 8-speed automatic transmission and torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, which we'll explain further inside handling section. Diesel engines. Expected to are the reason for the majority of sales here will be the 1.6-liter Turbo D with either 110 horsepower or 136 horsepower. While the 110 horsepower unit offers the top fuel economy and CO2 emissions, it doesn't look particularly inspiring with regards to performance. We've driven the top-of-the-line diesel, a 2.0-liter unit with 170 horsepower carried over from your last car, and were stunned at its punchy mid-range performance. There's a little bit of a delay at low revs and little value in stretching it beyond 4,500 revolutions per minute, and that means you need to work the gearbox to hold the engine on this fairly narrow operating range. Matched with a 6-speed manual, we found each one of third gear was required to accelerate quickly to motorway speed. Still, it accelerates smoothly and is particularly nice and quiet with a cruise. Gearboxes. There's an option here from the 6-speed manual as well as an 8-speed automatic. The former is standard with many engines, as well as the latter can be an option on just about the 260 horsepower petrol, where it really is standard. We've not driven the motorcar box but found the manual being easy to use, which has a light and springy action that slots positively into each gear. Adequate as opposed to inspiring handling. Lots of grip and planted, safe feel. Torque vectoring and flex ride options. This is but one area, the spot that the old Insignia fell behind its rivals slightly, along with the new car has trapped, but doesn't exactly move the overall game on. And even though the Mazda 6 and Ford Mondeo remain better to push, the Insignia Grand Sport's handling is a lot more than as much as the job. It is simply not particularly entertaining, even as found out within our long-termer. The steering is fairly light and doesn't offer much inside way of feedback. Even so, the car feels planted for the hole where there's a good amount of grip through the front and rear wheels. Bearing at heart the size from the car and also the quality in the ride, body control is impressive. You can induce quite a dose of lean inside a fast corner, nonetheless it doesn't lurch around or dive badly under braking. Torque vectoring, all-wheel drive and flex ride. Pick an automobile with all-wheel drive and torque vectoring and Vauxhall reckons the Insignia will handle a lot more precisely. That's because doing so can send ability to the wheel that requires it most, reacting quickly to changing surfaces and types of conditions. We've yet to sample it, or adjustable flex ride suspension, these offering a far more comfortable or sporty ride dependent upon what sort of driving you're doing. Much cleaner and decluttered. Browse the dashboard. Some important functions retain an actual physical button. Lots of driving position adjustment, even for tall drivers. The dashboard inside the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport has undergone an intensive decluttering now, although there continue to be proper switches for essential things like mid-air conditioning and stereo. This car retains its button-fest controls, which within the one hand is rather useful but about the other is usually a bit of your headache to navigate to start with. While within the whole the inside is a lot better than before, regarding material quality still it doesn't quite feel as well as its premium rivals, or perhaps the more mainstream Volkswagen Passat and Skoda Superb, because both versions are nicer to consider and use. That said, the Insignia's cabin looks additional upmarket now, particularly if opt for your larger digital display driving. The rev counter and fuel gauge are physical instruments, though the speedometer is really a customizable graphic version with a substantial numerical display. It's also easy to gain access to a comfortable driving position thanks to your highly adjustable seat and tire. Despite the width in the cabin, the armrests are appreciably close towards the driver. Longer wheelbase improves ride comfort. Even 20-inch wheels provide a good ride. Noise levels inside the car markedly improved. Thanks to a longer wheelbase compared to previous car, the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport boasts better ride comfort than before, even about the large 20-inch wheels in our test car. We reckon the 18-inch option are going to be seriously smooth, plus a bit quieter around the move. Watch, we took our Vauxhall Insignia upon an epic drive. Observe how comfortable it turned out here. The front seats are large and cost-setting and will be set extremely low down, just the thing for tall drivers, and in addition improving rear passenger vision, making the cabin feel large and airy wherever you're sat. Heating can be obtained for not precisely the front seats but also the two rears, plus the controls can be warmed to aid combat cold hands within the winter. Engine noise in the 2.0-liter diesel no less than is admirably hushed. A vent off it gets a touch vocal with the top from the rev range. There's a dose of wind rustle within the motorway, but about the whole the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport is usually a quiet and relaxing location to spend an extended journey. Basic, sporty and luxury trims available. Decent standard spec and generous top tier. Helpful driving assistance optional extras too. The Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport's trim levels are going to be familiar to owners with the previous generation or some other cars because of this manufacturer. You can find 7 altogether, including the several optional sedan of grades. Watch, we ran an Insignia for half a year, so you might know about thought on the equipment available here. Standard Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport equipment. Kicking things off could be the design trim, which comes with 17-inch alloy-look wheels, automatic lights, electric windows back and front, keyless entry you need to plus electrically adjustable and heated door mirrors. Gadgets-wise you will get air conditioning, cruise control with speed limiter, plus the IntelliLink 7.0-inch touchscreen speakers, DAB digital radio, Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Next up is Design Nav, which, because you can have guessed, simply adds the 8.0-inch Navi 900 IntelliLink SatNav system with European mapping. There are 3 sporty trims next. An example may be called 3 and adds the following to your basic spec: 17-inch alloy wheels, front fog lights, dark tinted rear windows, rear spoiler and rain-sensitive windscreen wipers. If you want a much more performance-focused look, pick 3 Nav, which adds the SatNav system mentioned earlier, front sports seats and pedals, dual-zone electronic climate control, ambient LED lighting, twin rear USB sockets, as well as an auto-dimming rear-view mirror. Finally, there's 3 VX Line Nav, which adds larger alloy wheels, 17s around the 1.6-liter diesel and 18s for everything, and also the full-fat VXR styling pack front and back bumpers, side sills, visible exhaust tailpipe. Inside there's a heated flat-bottom tire, dark fabric headlining, plus a larger 4.2-inch color information display involving the dials. Next you will discover 2 more luxury-focused trims depending on design cars. And also the first is named Techline Nav, that's historically proved liked by company car drivers. It adds 17-inch alloy wheels and chrome effect door handles towards the outside, plus twin rear USB sockets, an auto-dimming rear view mirror, and 4.2-inch color information display to your inside. You will also get driver's seat tilt and lumbar adjustment and front passenger seat height adjustment, and handy tech such as the 8-inch SatNav, dual-zone electronic climate control, rain-sensitive windscreen wipers, and back and front parking sensors. Top from the tree is Elite Nav, which builds on Techline by having larger alloy wheels, 17s within the 1.6-liter diesel, 20s around the 2.0-liter petrol, and 18s for anything else. LED matrix headlights, front fog lights, and dark tinted rear windows on the outside. Inside the vehicle you get leather seat facings, heated front and outer rear seats with an 8.0-inch color information display. 2.0-liter petrol models go for a Bose premium audio system. Pick a 4x4 car and you'll go for torque vectoring, which we've explained within the handling section. XI Performance Variant. Announced in late 2017, the XI happens to be the sportiest variant on the Insignia Grand Sport range. Additional equipment in the standard model incorporates a high-tech 4-wheel drive system, switchable drive modes with FlexRide adaptive suspension, Brembo performance brakes, and 18-inch alloy wheels. The sporty addenda continues about the inside that has a flat-bottom leather tire, aluminum pedals, and black headlining. OnStar. Standard on all Insignias is Vauxhall's OnStar concierge service. Connected towards the internet via your vehicle's antenna, this method can be used to contact the emergency services within the result of a crash, as well as to ask an OnStar representative to send out directions to some destination for a SatNav. It also supplies a Wi-Fi hotspot for around 7 devices. Debuting from the Insignia are 2 new functions called OnStar Personal Assistant. The device can now recommend and book expensive hotels for you, as well as send directions to your parking space to your SatNav. Optional Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport accessories. There are individually and bundled packs of optional extras for your Insignia, starting with the FlexRide adaptive suspension system, which offers a comfortable or sporty ride, plus a driving assistance pack with adaptive cruise control. Helping you retain your eyes for the road is usually a head-up display system, plus a Bose premium stereo can be specified. IntelliLux LED matrix headlights are impressive but pricey in the time of launch. 5-star rating in Euro NCAP crash test. Front camera means emergency braking and lane assist. OnStar system can contact the emergency services. As standard, the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport provides a good number of safety equipment, including electronic stability program, ABS brakes, 6 airbags, ISOFIX mounting points on 71 rear seats, and also a tire pressure monitoring system. Boosting this offering could be the OnStar system, which could contact the emergency services in your case automatically after an accident, as well as a front camera system that includes lane keep assist, following distance indicator, forward collision alert, low-speed collision mitigation braking and active emergency braking. Optional upgrades add the IntelliLux LED headlight system, that ought to make it easier to see and turn into scene, a head-up display, and adaptive cruise control with active lane keep assist. You may also pick rear cross-traffic alert and advanced parking system to generate reversing maneuvers easier and safer. When the Insignia Grand Sport was crash-tested from the experts at Euro NCAP in 2017, it achieved a full 5-star rating, with their pedestrian protecting pop-up bonnet along with the automatic emergency braking mechanism being highlighted as particularly effective. There's lots of room wherever you sit from the Vauxhall Insignia Grand Sport, plus the cabin feels particularly capacious within the front. Those inside back are very catered for with regards to legroom. Even behind a tall driver there is an abundance of space to extend into. This car has more headroom than its predecessor, but that relating to above-average height will still find their hair brushing the headliner. The rear seats feel as if they are set high up in comparison together with the cat's-eye scraping front chairs, which means you get an excellent view out when sat from the back. There are decent side pockets around, plus 3 cubbies within the center console along with a pair of cup holders within the front and back. The Insignia Grand Sport is usually a large car, plus the trim structure unfortunately means lower spec cars don't have rear parking sensors, so ingredient that into your buying decision. Vauxhall currently doesn't provide an automatic parking system for that Insignia. Open the boot inactivity made harder from the lack of an actual physical handle within the outside on the tailgate, and you'll reveal a substantial and practical boot. It's wide and long, having a square shape that may fit approximately 490 liters of luggage inside. Insignia fans will note those dimension is 40 liters down around the last car, and positively the new Grand Sport's boot looks relatively shallow. Fold the back seats flat and you'll unlock 1,450 liters, though. There's a flex organizer pack offering side rails, dividing nets and fastening solutions to help you keep all of the items within the boot tied down neatly.